Hi, I'm Louisa Ashford from LA Training Academy, Creating Salon Success. And today I'm here with Jackie. Jackie is a Reiki master and she's also a crystal practitioner. And she's really good at keeping a positive mindset, and she's going to share some tips with us today. But first of all, if you want to introduce yourself, Jackie, and just tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do, please.
Okay, hi, thanks Louisa for inviting me onto this podcast interview. Exciting.
No problem. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, so I'm Jackie Frith, and my business is Embrace Your Intuition, and it's evolved quite a lot over the years. It used to be called many different things, and now we're at Embrace Your Intuition. And the main thing I tend to focus on is Reiki training. So I teach Reiki level 1, 2 and 3. That was done face-to-face, but obviously things have changed slightly.
Yeah,
so we adapt in these times. Yeah. I also do crystal one-to-one consultations. So that's a fairly new offering, and I'm just really excited about that. Yeah, it's just amazing. So basically, I get on call with it tends to be mainly women that I tend to work with, and we just go through various different areas of the life, and we dive in deep to sort of the hopes and the dreams and the wishes, and we focus on sort of what will make their heart sing. And then and there's a little bit of, so I work intuitively, so I work with my guides when we're doing the call. We might do a little bit of card reading, even a bit of visualization. It's kind of very bespoke and tailored to the client. And and then after that, I then intuitively pick 3 crystals, once we've decided on what we're going to focus on. So 3 crystals that will really, really help to enhance that. And I then cleanse them, Reiki them, and they get a full PDF sheet of how to work with crystals. But they also then get a bespoke ritual that they use with these particular crystals. So they'll get affirmations that go with it, and then a ritual of what to do with the crystals and how to program them and how to work with them.
That sounds exciting.
So yeah, it's really exciting. And I'm just in the middle of creating a spiritual development online course as well.
Right. Oh, okay.
So I've had a bit of a spiritual bum kick since all this kind of this has happened in the world. Yeah. And so we're kind of, a lot of people, not just me, having to adapt to how you can move your business forward. One of my other businesses is a travel business, and as you can imagine, we were probably the first industry that was hit with any of this, because obviously all the planes stopped. So I was kind of shell-shocked for a couple of weeks with that, and then it was, okay, we need to move forward with the spiritual business. Sorry, that's my little puppy. This is Star. I don't know if you want to see Star.
Yeah, share.
Come and say hello. So this is Star, my little Shih Tzu. And I would recommend to anybody, if when you're going through this kind of thing, get a puppy.
Because you've only just got Star, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had 2 weeks tomorrow. So yeah, she's adorable. We're just kind of getting to know each other.
Yeah.
She's certainly brightened up my days. She really has.
So obviously, I'm guessing you really struggled then, maybe even with your own mindset, even though it is
actually. I really did, Louisa, to be honest. And for all the will in the world, you can have a positive mindset. You can read all the books and stuff, but when things happen, they happen. And I think we have to understand that we go through different processes.
Yeah.
The brain goes into fear.
Yeah.
Or the mind goes into fear, and sometimes you can't see the wood for the trees, and it's difficult to think how you're going to get out of it, how you're going to move forward. So I must admit, as I say, I think the first 2 weeks I was shell-shocked, and I literally spent all of my time watching the news. Now, I don't watch the news, and I don't watch it. I never watch the news. I don't read newspapers because I just find them really quite negative.
Yeah, I agree.
But I was the one that was at 5 o'clock, my seat downstairs, watching Boris. And I was, but then I was getting obsessed with it. So,
Yeah.
you know, I found the channel on Virgin Media, you know, the BBC channel, and then that was on constantly.
Oh,
and then, so I kind of had to have a bit of a talk with myself and say, come on, you know, this is not doing you any, because I found it was just bringing me lower. My energies were getting lower and lower, and I was just sinking into it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this goes against everything that I teach. It goes against everything that I stand for, but equally, I'm human.
Of course.
So I think, you know, it's okay saying, you know, snap yourself out of it and things like that, but it's not always as easy as that.
Sometimes you let your body ride it a little bit, aren't you? And
well, I think it is really important from a mental health point of view to kind of ride with the emotion, because one of the worst things that we can do is to try and suppress it. Because when we suppress things, then it will come out in some other way, you know, whether it's through a physical ailment or whatever. But it's really, really important to try and feel the emotion that's coming up. You know, if it's fear, if it's anger, you know, if it's loneliness. That was one of the things that really sort of hit me last week. Was the loneliness of it all.
Because you live on your own, don't you?
I do. So I live on my own and I work on my own. So this kind of quarantine and isolation for me is not really that unusual. But I think it was just something. I think it was some little thing that triggered it, and then that was it. The floodgates opened, you know, and tears were just streaming down my face, and I was like, oh my god, I can't cope with this. It's, you know, and knowing that because my sister's moved in with my dad, so they're okay, but knowing that they're 5 minutes away and I can't even, you know, see them properly, or cook them the Sunday dinner. Do you know what I mean? Or let them have time with Star, which was obviously important. So
but at least now you've got Star.
I know. So now I've obviously got Star, but I think it's we have to deal with it the way that we find best for us. You know, but I do think, as I say, it's important that we go into the feelings and the emotions that come up, rather than trying to block them out or listen to the mind monkeys that's like, oh, come on, you know, snap yourself out of this. It's, you know, negative thinking, blah, blah. You know, we have to understand what's happening. What's the matter, darling?
So other than obviously the floodgates and the crying, how else did you kind of overcome that feeling and sort of get yourself?
Well, I think so. I think that was kind of the real down of it. And then you have to kind of come out the other side. And I let it ride that day, you know, and I thought, I'm just going to allow myself to feel these emotions this day. And then knowing that the next day was going to be another day. And that's often how I deal with times when I'm feeling a bit rubbish. I allow myself to feel rubbish, you know. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. It's like the saying, it's okay to not be okay, you know what I mean? We can't be 100% positive all the time. So I just allowed it. And then the next day, and you know what, because I put something on Facebook, and the amount of messages I got, the amount of people commented, it was just so lovely. And I think,
like the people.
I mean, so that helped massively. It really did. And then I think one of the biggest things is that we have to take things day by day, rather than looking too far ahead. What's going to happen in 2 months, what's going to happen in 3 months, you know. And I'm not just talking about me, but am I going to have a business, am I going to have this, you know. We have to take it day by day, because otherwise you could send yourself into a real kind of downward spiral with it. Do you know what I mean? So it's about, and this was, so I'd sort of stopped doing writing in my gratitude journal, because I go through phases where sometimes I do it and then I don't, and then I've not written in it for a while, and then I decided the next day that was it, I was going to start writing in my gratitude journal. And you know, I get that, you know, this is not necessarily a time where people are feeling grateful, but actually it probably really is a good time just to focus on the things that you have got. And that's what I started doing. So I write in it at night time, good positive things that have happened to me, and first thing in the morning as well. So I've got one on my phone and one at the side of my bed. And I just think that helped as well, because it just felt as if I was doing something positive rather than kind of dwelling in negative things. And getting out in the fresh air, you know, walking. Obviously walking with, I mean, Star can't get on the ground yet, but I've got a nice puppy sling that I take her out in. Yeah, so that's nice and cute. So so getting out in the fresh air, the sun, you know, I mean, the gods are shining on us in this respect, you know what I mean? The fact that we've got such lovely weather, so you can get out in it, you can sit in the garden, you know, and I think there's, you know, I have lots of other things what I think's going on in the background of this as well. Obviously COVID-19 is a serious global pandemic, but obviously in terms of the universe and the Mother Earth, she's also getting a time to heal from all the pollution and everything.
I saw something about that, and I really, really liked it. And I thought, do you know what? That's a really nice way of looking at the situation. I think it is, because, you know, when we looked at the photographs of like Venice, you know, with the dolphins and things, and I saw the other day that in India, they can see the Himalayan mountains like from 115 miles away, never been seen. For me, oh my goodness, I was like, oh my God, that is absolutely amazing. And they showed you the images. I got goosebumps, because I'm just like, that's just phenomenal. You know, China's got less air pollution, than it's ever had. So those are some of the positives that we can take from this, as well as the, you know, the negatives. You know, and I noticed on Good Morning Britain today, because that can be quite negative, especially Piers Morgan, you know, he's brutal. He's entertaining though. I think he's hilarious. I know
he is entertaining, and he was on with Matt Hancock today, and I just sit there, and it's like ping pong between the two of them, you know, and it is entertaining. But today they were focusing on like the positives of the NHS. So what the NHS have been doing, you know, and talking to patients that have survived and things like that, which I thought was brilliant, because I do think we need to start focusing on a lot of the positives that are coming out of it. You know, the people that have survived, you know, obviously thousands and thousands of people have died, which is just so sad.
But everybody's talking about the doom and gloom, aren't they? And
so we need to find an outlet of you know, looking for, I can't necessarily say looking for the good within the COVID as such, but looking for the other things that it's bringing about. You know, it's people are actually getting out and about and seeing where they live. You know, I mean, I posted a picture on my on Facebook yesterday, and I was out on a walk with Star, and I've walked down this street many times, and there are the blossom trees across the whole, you know, the whole down the street. But this one particular one, it made me stop and look at it, because I've got a bit of an affinity with Japan. I think obviously probably the Reiki, the Reiki things to do with it. But it was so the blossom tree was bent like that, and all of the blossom was actually drooping over, but it made it look like a Japanese tree. It looked amazing, honestly. It was just so beautiful, and I took a photograph of it. And above it, all you could see was beautiful, clear blue sky. And it just looked fantastic. And I said, you know, I've walked on this street so many times and never seen the beauty of this tree. And a lot of people were saying, you know, I think we're all a little bit guilty of being that busy that we're not seeing the stuff around us. And I know somebody shared one last week and said, that they'd been for like a couple of mile walk from their house, and she said she'd lived there for 4 years, and she's always that busy and driving that she didn't even realise that she'd got such beautiful scenery just like outside her doorstep. So for me, those are the positives of it, you know, that we're seeing the beauty around us.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. And trying to think of the things that we can also maybe do that we've not done, adapting, you know, particularly in business, you know, how can you adapt your business to do other things, you know, as you know, my spiritual business, everything is now being moved online.
That's cool.
Which is,
like you've taken that away, haven't
yeah,
you?
yeah,
Get it out there still, and
yeah,
utilize the audience you've got and your clients you've really got, and get it online. And I think that's brilliant. For many of us, it's so easy to think, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I think we've all been there, including myself. Like, oh my god,
that's what I did. That's what I was in for the first two couple of weeks or so, and I knew that I'd always wanted to have the opportunity to put the spiritual business online.
The world,
but I was so much driven by the fear of everything that I couldn't even. So I think I needed just a couple of weeks to just sort of get my head around things.
Yeah.
And then it was okay. So what can I do? What are the things that I've wanted to do for a long time in terms of my business moving it online that I haven't done, that I now have got the opportunity. To do.
It's fantastic.
And that has, that's helped me massively, just to be able to do that. And you know, I had a video call yesterday with somebody just brainstorming ideas for one of my sales pages, which was great. You know what I mean? And the Zoom, the video chats, I've never had so many video chats.
Me neither. I barely knew how to use it until this situation, and now I'm like, I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, again, that's very fortunate for us at the time that we're in, because if this was 20 years ago, you'd just be on your big mobile phone having a conversation with somebody, whereas now it feels like we're in the same room.
Yeah, yes, it's nice, and again, that is a positive, isn't it? Thank goodness that 20 years ago.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. You know, I can FaceTime my sister who was at my dad's. So again, that feels like you're in the same room with them when you're having a conversation with them.
Yeah.
So that's nice. What's the matter? What's the matter?
Oh, she wants the attention.
Yeah, she does. She does.
No, I agree. I think it's a very, very strange time for a lot of businesses, but I also think as well that we almost feel like when you're in business that the whole world is in this same situation, which we are, obviously, but there's actually a lot of people that are still actually fully employed and still going to work. So you still do have an audience of customers, really, you know,
absolutely.
in this situation, money, am I getting this grant, am I getting that? It's such a, you know, a testing time, but not everybody is in the same.
No, absolutely. And obviously there are also a lot of people that are furloughed, you know, that are, you know, at home, not doing anything, not working. So they are also people that we can kind of reach out to as well, you know, and get messages across. And it, you know, it could be things that they've maybe never even thought about doing.
Absolutely.
Because they've now got sort of the time to explore other things as well. So, yeah.
Are you finding that it's working for you online then? Are you getting a good response? Have you, you know, noticed it?
I mean, I think in terms of the first thing really that I've tended to take online is the crystal consultation. So that's gone really, really well. Obviously I was always very active on my Facebook and Instagram anyway, so there's not a lot of difference with that because I'm already doing what I was already doing before. But I think it's now giving me ideas of things, because I've also got a free group on Facebook, so we're doing some challenges and things in there. Having a spiritual coffee morning next week.
People have got the time you know, as well, haven't they? Which is nice.
So we're all just gonna have a cup of coffee and maybe get some cards out, or do, you know, whatever, find out what people's spiritual journeys and
do you know
that kind of thing.
Oh gosh, I thought I'd got them. I got a gift sent to me this morning, and this is really apt that we're having this call and you just said that. Sorry, I wouldn't normally come out of the thing, but somebody sent me these angel cards.
Oh, wow.
I know, and I was like, oh my gosh, what an amazing present is that?
Who were they by?
They are Debbie Malone, which I've not heard of.
No, I haven't.
Doreen Virtue. And I was talking to someone the other day and I said, I have misplaced my angel cards. I know this is another conversation, but it was just because you were talking about spiritual. And I was about to say, oh, I'll have to come and join your coffee morning. And then I just thought, oh, my cards.
Yeah,
so,
it's your cards.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. So I'm so grateful for those. But yeah, so it's just apt that we've just got onto that side of the conversation. So
And how wonderful that somebody sent you a gift.
Oh, I know. I opened it up and it was my husband's birthday the other day and some gifts have not arrived. So I thought, oh, it's one of his presents. And then when I opened it, I thought, no, I definitely didn't buy these for my husband. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. So yeah, how kind is that? And what an amazing gift as well.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to let me have a look and see what they look like.
I will do.
The box looks amazing. It looks like some great imagery.
Yeah, they're quite big as well. So the ones I've had have always been quite small. So yeah, I'm quite
smaller.
I'll have to know what.
Oh, we'll bring them onto the chat next week.
Oh yeah, I will. Yeah. What day is the chat?
Next Tuesday at 11.
Oh right, okay. Oh yeah. I'm sure that's fine. Excellent.
Yeah. So and then we're doing the following week. We're doing a 7-day manifesting challenge.
Okay.
So I just thought, again, it's about creating positivity. You know, it's about focusing on things, and you know, it doesn't have to be material things. It can be anything that's gonna just make them feel better. So we did.
You get lots more inspiration when you're talking to other people and not like homing in on like negativity, which is so easy to do. So can I put a link in the comments to your group so that we can?
Absolutely. Definitely. Please do. I'll send you that over.
That's exciting. That's brilliant.
we did the manifesting challenge last year in the group, and everybody loved it. It was just so nice just to see people's posts about what was happening and how they were doing it and what they'd manifested and how they were feeling, and it was lovely. So hopefully, and
I hope some of the people in my group get involved because that'll be really good.
It'd be I just think, as I say, because it's about collaboration. Do you know what I mean? And coming together, and you know, I've started doing so I do a live meditation on a Friday at midday, and I've done that for the last 3 weeks. So I'll be doing that until lockdown finishes. Basically, it will be every Friday. So I just do a meditation. I get my singing bowls out, and you know, people really, really enjoy it. I get some really good feedback from it, and you know, people have said that it feels more powerful as well because you know that other people are doing it and meditating all at the same time.
Because I struggle with meditation personally, and I know I recommend it to people, and I do tell people to do it because I know how beneficial it is. But it's something I really struggle with, and which obviously I need to do it more. But so I suppose if it's a guided one, it might be easier for someone like me who really struggles with it.
So is it the thoughts coming in that's what you struggle with, or is it?
I can't explain it. Weirdly, it makes me kind of angry because I just get really frustrated. That it's not that I'm thinking. I get irritated. It has a total opposite effect. I can't explain what it does to me. I think it depends what's going off. You know, like it depends what music you've got on, or So I think a guided one might help me because I think I get everything by the repetition of music. And something in me.
Sorry, I'm just
stop. Oh yeah, you're fine.
Sorry.
No, don't worry.
Come on. I'm just going to open the door for us so she can. I mean, I always say to people that if you do struggle to meditate, which, you know, it's not something that you can just do like that. You know, it takes time and practice. But I always recommend doing guided ones first because then it's your conscious mind that needs to be occupied. Because when the idea of doing meditation is so that you can go deeper, more into the subconscious, but it's the conscious mind that's thinking about your tea or what your list is for this or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
It's just not like being in my subconscious mind.
it's so sorry. So that again. It's like what?
I think I must just not like being in my subconscious mind, because I think it's almost. I'm like, and I wanted to stop.
Well, I mean, that probably is an indication that you need to probably do it more, and you would get.
So I end up doing stretches and doing my Reiki instead. And I think I'll just Reiki and stretches. And but I do. It's still something I want to master, and I've been trying for years, and I tell everyone to do it.
Yeah.
But then I have a tendency to avoid it. So Friday, you must send me a link, and I'll jump in. And
Friday at 12 o'clock. Yes, 12 o'clock live midday.
Friday 12.
Yes, and that's on Facebook. So you just go to my page and it'll be on there. So that's
just send me the links. I can put them in the comments as well, and then obviously I can use them as well.
Okay.
So, I found this so inspiring and really, really interesting. I've loved it. So thank you. But before we finish, have you got anything else you want to share with us? Some top tips or?
Yeah, just some sort of tips, just sort of from my own, what I've found, kind of my ways of dealing with it. And what I've already covered is limiting listening to the news.
Yeah.
So I tend to have it on now, sort of first thing in the morning. And then I'll watch the 5 o'clock. Although last week I didn't even watch that because I just had to remove myself from it. But obviously it's an important one tonight, so I'll be watching it tonight. But
no, I'm so bad. I rely on everyone else telling me.
Yes, you must watch at 5 o'clock because they're talking about the extension of lockdown.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, that's the announcement today. Yeah.
Right.
And the practicing gratitude, and this is
a big believer on that one.
This is more just about looking for the little things, and I'm not making light of the situation. Do you know what I mean? But I think if we can just find the little small things within your world that you can be grateful for, and the other thing is, I think don't beat yourself up, because somebody shared, it was in one of the groups, I think you're in it as well, last week, about something that had been on Twitter, about if you haven't learned a new skill or something else, I think, or a new language or whatever, by the time lockdown finishes, then your problem is discipline. And I just thought, I think there's actually a lot of pressure being put onto people that because you've got all this time off, then you must tidy your house from top to bottom. You must get all your garden done. You must do all your decorating. You must learn a new language. You must, homeschool. And it's like all of these things that people are saying that you should be doing. And it's just a bit like, well, says who?
Do you know, you're right there? Because the other week I put a thing in my group saying that I felt really sort of like, a bit like you, not so teary, just I felt really low and I couldn't work it out. And it was exactly that. I was feeling pressured that I wasn't getting my house clean from top to bottom. And I wasn't, we're not doing stuff. But my husband's still working full time, so nothing different for him except he's got to do a lot of it from home. He's still got to physically work. So we haven't got the time. And I've got a lot on with obviously my skincare and other sides of the business that's separate to salon. So it's not like I'm just not doing anything.
Not doing anything. No, I know. And I just think
that everyone was doing all this stuff and I wasn't.
I know, and I think that's a massive thing. It's like you do whatever you feel like you want to do.
Yeah.
You go by your own rules. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, the only person that you're accountable for with that is yourself. And unless you do want to do these kind of things, and then if you do, then get an accountability person to help you through it. But don't beat yourself up if you haven't done them.
Yeah.
And again, this is another thing that we touched on before, is allow yourself to feel the emotions. So if there is a day when you're feeling pretty crap, then that's the day that you're feeling pretty crap, and just allow yourself to feel it. And don't again, kind of don't beat yourself up because you're not feeling good. It's allowed. We're in unprecedented times. This is something that's never ever happened before. And even if you are still working, this is still affecting you, because life is not normal. Do you know what I mean? So again, if you are working full time, and you are feeling a bit, then that's okay as well. Just because you're working full time, it doesn't mean to say that the impact of everything that's going on in the world and everything around you doesn't have some effect on you.
My husband's struggling. I can tell by his mood, and you think, well, he's not got the same pressures as some people, as in like, you know, he's still getting paid, he's still got a job, he's still full time.
Yeah.
But he is not himself. I can tell there's a different. Obviously, work's changed, but I think it's impacting him a lot more than even he realizes.
Yeah.
Hell,
well, because at the end of the day, he can't do the things. He can't just go to the pub or a restaurant or just, you know, go to the supermarket without having to queue for 15 minutes to get in. You know, life is just not the same. You know, so it is going to affect everybody in different ways, and that's the other thing with this. You know, we're all human beings, and we all have different mindsets. We all have different ways of working.
Yeah.
So that does not mean that that's going to work for everybody else. You know, you have to find what feels right for you.
Yeah.
And also do things that raise your vibration. You know, play music, singing. You know, I put some music on the other day and I had a dance around my living room with Star was looking at me as what's she doing? But just, you know, I put on some kind of a really good tune that I, you know, a Todd Terry one, which I love to dance to. I just love the tune, so I just put it on and had a dance, you know. Yeah, and there's quite a lot of like virtual kind of raves and music sessions going on Facebook and things like that as well. So that's, so do things that will make you feel better, that will raise you up. Watch a comedy or watch, you know, a good film or something. I think if you can try and limit, or when I say this, limit your time on social media. Well, or focusing on the negative post, because and I know we were having a conversation about this the other day, Louise. I've actually deleted quite a few people.
Yeah, and so many people
just because the posts are quite antagonising. You can see that they're doing the post because they want an argument, and it's just I just don't want to see that. You can find yourself getting involved, even though you think you just did an innocent comment or a like or whatever. Yeah. Before you know, you think you're brought back to that comment all the time, aren't you? With other people. I just said it. And the other thing is, you know, if you might be in a group and somebody will post something, and then there might be 365 comments, and then 2 hours you've spent reading all of these 365 comments, and then you think, oh my God, look at the time, I've not done anything. Yeah. We kind of sucked in a little bit. So I think it's kind of sort of stepping back a little bit. You know, I mean, most of my posts for the last 2 weeks have been star, you know, to try and brighten up people's feed. Do you know what I mean? So that they can see a puppy. So yeah, and I just think, you know, if there are people on your friends list who don't lift you up, don't cheer you up, don't have you back, then get rid of them, because what purpose do they serve? Absolutely. Because if all they're doing is just sharing all the negatives and their theories on what's going on, and the conspiracy theories and all of this, that just and I think there's been quite a lot of name calling, you know, and judgment. It's been very, very judgmental over the last few weeks on Facebook. People, I feel really confident I'm going out, even just if I'm going for a run, which I do every day, every morning. And I feel like I'm looking, going like, oh, how long have I been out? And like, is anybody watching? Yeah, I know, and I think sometimes people don't know what's going on in other people's lives. You know, you're entitled to go out for a run. You're entitled to go down to the shops for food and things, you know, and I think rather than just sitting there and writing judgmental posts on Facebook, you know, you could perhaps try and find something a bit more positive to do. I agree. So I think that in terms of keeping positive and looking at ways, particularly for businesses, looking at ways that maybe you can change some of the things that you do, and if you can do some things online, then do them online, and perhaps use this quieter time for productive stuff to get things ready for when it is going to get busier.
Well, yeah, especially, well, in every business, but in beauty, especially, we're too busy doing the treatments or the hair or
Yeah,
whatever, that we don't have time to focus on the business. And it's
absolutely.
probably not even our forte half the time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I love that side of it, but I didn't instantly start that. You know, you don't do it to start running a business, you do it
no,
because you've got a
you
passion
don't.
for
What
what
a
you
passion,
do.
absolutely, yeah,
And
yeah,
then, but as well, I suppose like a lot of us have got a really good client base and they want to support us as well. So
yeah,
why not keep connecting with them, keep in touch with
yeah,
them, and
yeah,
get ideas and see what you can do, what do
yeah,
they want you to do? Because there might be a
yeah,
way that you can still, you know, like
yeah.
you say, take opportunities.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the beauty salons and the hairdressers, when the lockdown finishes, will probably be the busiest places ever, because everybody's all got roots and
Yeah,
nails that need doing, and
yeah.
the
I heard
waxing and
someone's
all
doing a
sorts of stuff.
competition of who's going to have the longest roots, and then they get a discount or something like that of like a
Yeah,
competition measuring. And I think it's to try and encourage people to leave their hair alone.
yeah. Well, I mean, I must admit, before lockdown, I cheated a little bit because I bought a home dye, but
Yeah,
I've not put it on yet because I'm trying to see how long I can go
yeah.
before I mean, what I probably might do is do it just before lockdown finishes, so that I come out and I've got
And you're all
wonderful hair.
glamorous, and you're like,
Yeah, I
oh.
won't get hair. Yeah, I won't be able to. I won't have any nails on, but my
Well,
hair will look okay.
oh yeah, exactly. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
thank you. They've been really, really interesting. I feel really inspired after this, and I feel like I've got some get up and go as well.
brilliant.
I'm going to list those top tips as well because I think they're really, really good. Just as a quick
Yeah.
reminder to everybody. But thank you so much for sharing, Jackie.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks so much for inviting me. I've really, really enjoyed it. It's been
Oh,
fun.
me too, no problem. So I'll share in the comments your group. So send me all the links and everything, and then
I
hopefully
will.
people involved as well.